Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben from Twin Engines, and
James?
we're finally back to shoot another review. Sorry for our absence, but we're talking Star Wars. We're talking The Acolyte. James, did you watch The Acolyte by any chance?
Yes, I did. So, for those of you who don't know, Star Wars The Acolyte is the latest Disney Plus TV show. It is written and some of the episodes were directed by Leslie Headland, so she's new to the Star Wars game. And this one's a little interesting because it's kind of doing a lot of, taking a lot of chances. This is the first time we're getting away from the Skywalker saga. It's 100 years before Episode 1. The Jedi Order is still flourishing. The Coruscant, it's the Republic, and so we're dealing with new characters in a new scenario. Once again, people have been asking like, quit milking legacy characters and stuff
Skywalkers,
like
all that stuff. Yeah.
that. Yeah, so a new story involving two twin sisters, and one's in the dark side, one's in the light side. Somewhat, I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah. So I did end up checking it out.
I'm glad. I did not think James was gonna watch this. He swore off Disney Star Wars after Boba Fett and Obi-Wan and all that, but
Yeah,
he gave it a shot, which I'm very pleased to hear.
yeah. So I decided to check it out, and I've been watching it weekly every time it would drop.
So, what did you like about it? What are the things you liked?
Okay, we'll be positive.
Let's start with some positives. It's gonna be a small list probably, but let's hear.
I like that they are starting with new characters. I like that we're not milking old characters. There's one or two or three that are already established, but they're not a big character. They don't even have speaking lines. And so it's cool that these writers, this Leslie Headland and her writing team created new characters, and I'll give them points for that. I think that's cool. It's a new setting too. I mean, it's just 100 years ago from episode 1.
But it still you can feel it though.
Yeah,
It does feel different.
I did like the villain, the stranger. He was pretty cool. Oh, I'll get into it with a little bit of the things I wasn't sold on, but overall, I mean, I did think he was interesting, and yeah,
He was hot.
he was a stud muffin.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah. And for a second, I was like, did they hire me for those scenes?
Dude, was I drunk, blacked out, and I shot all
You
that?
said yes. You said yes to filming that, and that's about it for me when it comes to positives. What about you, Ben?
I actually liked a lot more than I think the masses liked. Every time I would go online on Twitter and stuff, I would just see nothing but hate for this show. But I think there's some redeemable factors that a lot of people just like are not caring about at all. I mean, that's fine. Everybody's got an opinion. But I liked, like you said, the Sith guy, the stranger. He was just badass. I like that he was killing Jedi left and right. There was violence. There was death in the show. Characters that you thought would actually might like live longer did not. I liked the twins. I thought the twins were pretty good. The older ones, not so much the younger ones. And that whole witch cult thing was pretty silly, I think. Especially that chant, worst chant that's ever been uttered on screen in that scene. I like the setting. I liked the 100 years ago, no Skywalkers. The choreography and the fighting was a lot of fun. And I like the ingenuity they had with like different lightsabers and stuff like that. Except for the purple lightsaber, Venestra's lightsaber. We'll get into that later though. But I liked the Sith's lightsaber, how it came out to a little dagger and how he could use his lightsaber very proficiently, how he had a more brutal fighting style than all the rest of them. I found things to enjoy, and I found myself actually enjoying the show during a decent amount of it, I'd say. So that's what I did like. Those are things I did like.
All right, so now let's talk about the negatives. So, Ben, what did you not like about the Acolyte?
I hate the limp dick lightsaber. Get the purple limp dick lightsaber out of here. The lightsaber whip.
The BDSM.
Yeah, even though it was just in one tiny scene, like a blink and you miss it type scene. I just think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't need a lightsaber whip. Sorry.
Well, to be completely fair,
it's
a light whip is in the old Star Wars, in the comics and stuff like that. So, so it's not like they invented it. And so, okay.
I just feel like it's something they could have gotten rid of. I didn't like the main Jedi chick, Venestra. I don't think you're supposed to like her, though. I think you're supposed to not like her. Yeah. But it's not just her acting, or it's just not her attitude. It's her acting. It's her makeup, all of that. Didn't like it. I didn't like that she was affiliated with the director the way she is either.
She's
I just feel
the
like
wife.
Just feel like that's a cop out, or like just throwing somebody in there that probably shouldn't be in there. Yeah, the story was pretty wonky. It was pretty all over the place. It just didn't feel that grounded, and just like it was grasping at straws at points and just skating over crucial plot points and stuff. And I think it could have been a lot tighter. And especially the music. There's at the very end of the finale. There's like a regular secular like American hip hop song or pop song,
I-
bro,
I-
probably one of the worst choices.
yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
It's like a Gilmore Girls ending
Yeah,
credit
bro.
song that was like so girly and like that was funny. That I was like, what were they thinking here?
What about you?
I gotta say, this show makes me think of like a high school sophomore that's in drama class, and they got to come up with a play with their classmates, and so they're like, we're gonna do a Star Wars one, and we're gonna make our own characters. But a sophomore, no matter how good of a basic idea they have, the premise, they still have yet to develop, figure out how to write a character correctly with proper motivations and stuff like that. So it's like this page one draft, like a first draft type of thing, and the characters don't make sense. Like their motivations fluctuate back and forth from episode to episode, and the acting to me, it was so wonky. You could tell that they're like, and action, and then they start doing things, as opposed to like you feel like something's actually happening. There's so much conveniences. I mean, this thing should have just been called The Convenience. Why did the Jedi not want to take that girl that's wanted for murder? Like, why wouldn't they personally escort her when they went to go get her?
Yeah.
Why did they send it to that robot?
Yeah, the robot.
How come she didn't have any like what'd you do this weekend? And she has no way to prove, like, if you stayed in your ship, isn't there cameras?
Yeah.
Like, didn't you walk down the hallway to get food at the galley at the mess?
They set up that whole mystery, and then they're like, oh, it was a sister.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It falls apart like within 2 episodes. It's just goofy, and it's just like, once again, you have an interesting idea, like, oh, let's do a murder mystery thing with 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Tighten that shit up. Tighten it up, and it just felt like, once again, like a high school little play with little just kids that don't their heart's in the right place, but they just didn't have the expertise or the talent to pull it off. And sorry to be so harsh, but yeah, I just found it just so pointless.
I forgot about the one other thing that I did like, which was Soul, who was the guy from
Squid
Games. And he's hit or miss for me, because I feel like his acting was a little wonky at times as well, and his dialogue was a little wonky. But I like the fact that he was this Jedi who thought he was doing things for the right reasons, but they were very selfish and like stupid reasons. Like, he was like, well, I'm going to choose to do this because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Instead of like taking the little girl's opinion into mine, and he just would do his own thing, and it ended up leading to his downfall. And I did like that part of the story.
It's just a lot of the characters I just didn't understand. Like, okay, we're talking about Minestra, which is like she sounds like she comes off more like a CIA agent that you got to report to.
Yeah.
And she's shifty, the shifty-eyed character that
like it's very obvious. Like,
but it's like,
she's an ass.
You're Jedi. Now, don't get me wrong. I despise the Jedi. I hate the Jedi. I oppose them in so many ways, just the way I view the world. But this person is just not even Jedi-like.
Yeah.
There's nothing about her that suggests, oh, this is a 100-year-old Jedi that's years of like training and viewing from their thought process. Like, once again, this comes off like some CIA agent that's like, she's a double agent answering to somebody else. And I'm like, this is not even believable at this point.
I hated her. She's very easily the worst character. I also didn't like the whole reason the Jedi were there and taking the girls. They were like, well, we're going to train them. We're just going to take them. We're just going to fucking kidnap these 2 girls.
Yeah.
And sorry, whatever, witches. And then that whole thing was how they all died. Like, it's just not explained at all.
Yeah, they just all die randomly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I understand the one that got stabbed, even though she was like gas or like smoke, but okay, whatever. But then the Zabrak girl, the one with the horns, the mom with the horns, I'll give them points. That was some great costume design, her horns and stuff, and her tattoos. She looked great. I thought she looked really good. And then she just disappears. Yeah. I don't know, like,
no one knows what happens to her.
Did she die, or she's going to come out in season 2 if there is a season 2, which I doubt.
Yeah. Would you watch a season 2?
No.
Really? So if season 2 came out, and what have you heard? Like, oh, season 2 is actually kind of good.
I mean, fingers crossed. Season 2, if it was to happen, is like 2 years from now. By then, I'm going to have my hand fixed, and I'm not stuck at home. I want to be like, no,
I got better things to do.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, but just convenient thing after convenient thing. Characters' motivations are all over the place. That little Basil tracker guy, back and forth.
I hated him too.
Of course, Disney's mandates to make a toy.
They have to have a cute character. They have to have a cute little guy.
So make this little guy that we can make into a plush to sell to kids during the holiday season.
And that's fine. He could stay in one episode, but they make him an actual, like, really important character.
And nobody cared. Not a single person was like, oh, he's so adorable. We love him. This dude's like back and forth helping the Jedi, then like sabotaging their ships. It's like,
yeah, that was weird, dude. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it for our Acolyte talk, guys. I just wanted to come on and say a little bit because there's just so much hate across the board. I have an open mind. I try to have an open mind when I go into these things, and I think there's I think there's more good than a lot of people are giving it credit for in this show, and I probably would watch the second season. So that's just my take. I just wanted to do this little video. James didn't want to do this at all. He was like, "I don't care about the Acolyte. Let's not even talk about it." I was like, there's some positive things I think I want to try and say.
So, folks, let us know, what did you guys think down below? You know, are we wrong? Are we right? You know, once again, Ben really enjoyed a lot of stuff from it. Not perfect, but he did enjoy a lot more than the overwhelming hate that people like to dogpile on the internet, like vultures on a dying zebra. You know, and so I understand.
That's what it felt like.
You know, I understand that people tend to do that, and it's popular to hate on Star Wars these days. But to be fair, I did try to give it a fair shake. It just, the writing was just flimsy as hell. The acting was just there was just not a lot for the actors to do, and so it's like,
would you put it above Boba?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. At least with Boba Fett, I have an attachment to a character or two or three.
Yeah.
These guys, you know, yeah, I'll give them points. They created original characters, but at the end of the day, I can care about a single one of them. Not even the Sith, even the Stranger.
I like this. I'm
cool.
a stan, bro. I love that guy.
He was cool, but one, I'm having a hard time believing this 22-year-old guy is this well versed in the Force where he can erase people's memories. Man, that's pretty convenient. You could erase people's memories. Can you imagine the Jedi could just do that to like Anakin so he forgets about his mom when he's little or anything like that? I mean, I just think it's just, once again, wow, that's convenient that he knew that trick. And why does he want an Acolyte when Darth Plagueis is there? For those of you who don't know, Darth Plagueis will become the master of Palpatine.
But I think it's his master right now.
Yeah, then why is he getting a third one?
Yeah, that breaks the rule too, bro.
Yeah, so it's like, once again, I mean, I think they're trying to sow the seeds for they're trying to sow the seeds for season 2. I just think it didn't pay off. It wasn't written enough where like, oh my god, I gotta know. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't care. And that's about it for us, folks. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Comment down below, what did you think about the Acolyte? And stay tuned. Pretty soon we will be having a review for Deadpool and Wolverine as well. So we're hitting the ground running with the channel. So as always, thank you so much for joining me, buddy.
Hell yeah, glad to be back.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.